kindness, caring, and candid conversation. What do you expect, and what are your preconceived notions? Hi, welcome today, and as you saw, we'll be talking about expectations. I have many expectations and preconceived notions that oftentimes I become more aware of. And today I'd just like to speak to some of those. And welcome to everyone. And Melanie's with me. And Heather. Hi, Heather. And Josh has joined me. Thank you, guys. I don't know if you know, but every day or every time I do this, I come prepared to um, speak to myself for a minute, and you guys never let me down. Someone from the Just Create More community has shown up every time to support me, and I appreciate that much. Um, so let's just jump in to um, what I have. Give me a second. Sorry about that. It's bothering me. Um, so what I did today was pick out some of my remembered and recognized expectations, and I'll share some of what my preconceived notions about them were and how I tend to view them today as opposed to what I learned growing up. So, the first one I have is I'm supposed to be happy. And I don't think that's an unreasonable expectation, but I do now believe that that's up to me. Um, Happiness is often a temporary state of being. You're happy and then you're not. And that is more what I've come to tell myself for sure is that, um, like I said before, happiness typically is derived from outer things. And um, as everything is in motion, those things change. And so the happiness will too. Um, so if you think you're supposed to be happy, if that's one of your expectations, it is completely up to you whether or not that becomes true in your life. What you choose to um, place your happiness upon, like what you have decided will determine your happiness, is up to you. So if things have to be perfect for you to be happy, then it's not likely that you'll be happy because, um, well, I take that back. Then it'll be up to you to view things as perfect. And then you can find your happiness. Um, Perfection is subjective. And so um, the way I try to approach that is everything's perfect in what it is, whether I like it or not. And that way I get a little closer to being happy with how things are. So that's the first one. And then I hear this a lot, and I say this a lot. People should treat me the way I treat them. And I think that probably happens more often than I want to admit. I think that would work better for me if I take into account how I treat people and then watch it come back to me. Something I had seen and heard once was people act according to their own level of understanding based on their own life experiences. And so that means to me that someone may act or react to me or a situation that I'm in differently than me because their life experience dictates different behavior. I don't know what their life experience is most of the time. And so I need to open my mind up to the fact that everyone is shaped by their life experiences. And it's okay. I don't have to agree again, but it does make my life easier if I just accept it and allow for others to be themselves while I maintain who I am. And the next one, I don't hear so much, but I see a lot. And I've often felt it myself, especially when I was drinking. And that is, if I don't complain, everyone will like or love me. Whether there's complaining involved or not, everyone will not like and or love you. It's okay. As soon as I stopped expecting people to like me because I was nice and kind and I knew that, and not necessarily showed that all the time, then it became okay for people to choose not to be on board with me. You know, I actually kind of enjoy when someone has determined that they don't want to get in my boat because I know that they are honoring themselves. And I've now chosen to do the same and be okay with that. There's so many people that one less person who likes me is going to be okay. Everyone does not have to like me. And I think it was weird if everyone did like me because I have views, I have opinions and beliefs that are mine, and they don't have to be someone else's in order for me to respect them and hold them as a human being and to allow that they can have their own choices. Oh, this one. Working for someone else is the right and only way to make a living or to make money. I can't say that I believe that. Clearly, I don't believe that. What I do say is, if you do what brings you joy, you will never want for anything. And what this says is, I've often said, and people have often told me to shut up, that if you do what brings you joy, you will never want for anything. And I stand by that because it has been proven in my life. I am not rich. I feel like I would like to have more, but my needs are all met, and they always have been, and I believe they always will be, as long as my work is to be true to myself and to um, do what I think I'm supposed to do, or what I want to do, basically. What brings me joy is what um, sustains me, I think. And I think that's true for everybody. I don't know. I get a lot of guff about that one. And people who tell me they have to do something because they have to do something. And I think it's a matter of maybe rearranging your priorities, or um, redetermining what is truly necessary for you to be comfortable and joyful. Um, so those were three of the ones that I chose, just randomly, kind of. And um, let's see, let's check the comments and see what other people think about these things, or if they have some of their own preconceived notions. And a few more hellos. Hello, Kelly. Glad you could stop in. Hi, Tom. It's good to see you too. And Heather says, what brings me joy is what sustains me. Yes. And there are times when I question that advice that I give to people about do what brings you joy. And I have to say, Heather has reaffirmed that for me, and constantly shows me that if you stick to your true joy, even through the hard times, that you will be sustained. And I appreciate that. And I continue to believe that, and I'll continue to share that as advice to everyone. Hello, A. Howard. She just got here and she had a reminder set and it didn't remind her. And sorry, my phone keeps ringing. I have it turned off, but it's getting through somehow. So excuse that. Um, I've had the experience of setting my reminder and not getting reminded. So I don't know what's up with that. I do know that when you set your notifications, if you change your notification to all, then you'll get a notification. If you keep it on personal or whatever the other one is, you won't get the notification at the time of the event. So I learned that the hard way, but I learned it, and so I'm sharing it. Let's see. Melanie says, if you stick to your true joy, even through the hard times, you will be sustained. Yes. And I'm glad. I'm not surprised, and I'm also very glad that you guys are reaffirming that, because there are a lot of people who don't adhere to that truth. Being creators, content creators, as we are, I think we find that truth a lot faster, but I believe everyone can find it if they are willing to take some chances, or to maybe live in a little discomfort for a while until things balance out, or you can truly determine what it is you want. because I've said what I want many, many times, and I've often said it too soon without really being sure of what I want. Or I think I want something and then I get it and it's not what I want. So it's okay to change it, but you have to start somewhere. Melanie says, I always set my notifications, but sometimes I get distracted and miss them when it starts. And yes, I've done that too. Heather loves the positivity here. I'm having a bit of a rough day and this is brightening things up. I'm so happy to hear that I could do that for you, or that we could. Yeah, I'm glad you're here, and I hope things get better. And actually, I know things will get better, like you do. But in there, kid. So I had a few other notions that life is supposed to be easy. And I'm not sure where this came from, but there's no documented proof that life is supposed to be easy. I think life is supposed to be challenging and easy. I think they both, how would you recognize one if you didn't have the other? Life is supposed to be easy at times, and life is supposed to be challenging at times. And to me, that is the whole sum of life. How would you know if something were easy if you didn't have a challenge? And let's see what this one. If I work hard now, someday I won't have to. Ooh, that is the American myth. That's what I call that. Work seems to be one of those things that follows us through life, physically, mentally, and emotionally. There's always going to be work. And it may not be a job that you hold, but you will have to work at something at all points in your life. And if you're fortunate, you'll enjoy the work. But get it out of your head that someday there will be no work, because that day is when the breathing is done. Where you will work at something for the rest of your life. And it's okay. Work can be enjoyable, and work, once you accept it, doesn't always feel like work. It you know, there's so many things we work at that we're not even conscious of. Those things will continue. You will always have something to work at. And so let's look at this one and see what I missed. I think they all boil down to wanting approval. I think approval is what drives a lot of us, and keeps us working. I think the most important thing to remember there is that your approval, your own approval, is what is going to change the game. No one else's will. Because until you approve of yourself and what you're doing and how it's going in your world, what anyone else says isn't going to make a difference. It might briefly feel good, but for consistent feeling good, it has to come from you. And I know that because I work on approving of myself in certain realms where I've gotten the approval of others, but I can't see that I deserve it or that I've owned it, um, or not owned it, that I've earned it. And I know that until I see that for myself and give myself approval for these various things, that people can tell me over and over. And actually, I've had a lifetime of people telling me good things about myself that I could not believe, that I failed to see. And because I couldn't accept it for myself, I couldn't approve of myself, I felt like a fraud. And that led to my drinking in large part because I was always afraid of being found out. I didn't believe all the things, all the good things that people knew about me and told me about me. And now that I've come to gradually believe them one by one, I I'm fine. I don't I don't I don't feel the need to um, run away to alcohol or to leave where I am in any form because I finally approve of myself. Let's check some more comments, shall we? Um, Kelly Mullen says, I had to redefine my joy. I thought it was always the big stuff, and now understand it is every step. Yes, it, and that's what I mean when I say you are the one who determines your joy. If you decide every step is going to be an adventure, as it were, or an exciting move, then yes, you have determined your joy and you're the one who determines where that'll take you or how you're going to hold on to it. And Heather, love what you said, Kelly. And I think Melanie did too. Right on. Melanie says, I love this and I'm glad. I kind of love this too. It is all about the mindset shift. Yes. And I've seen that with you, Melanie. I've watched your videos and um, it's amazing to me how much I get from watching other people's growth. And I've watched Josh. Oh my gosh, what an amazing transformation and growth going on there. Josh Scott live. I've watched Heather, and I've seen some of the older stuff she's done, and see, oh my God, what a magnificent blossom she has come to be. And Melanie, I've seen you in some of your videos where, or I'm thinking of one particular video where you were feeling a little less than motivated, a little less than motivated, I'll say. And to see the stuff that you're producing now come from that is, it's motivating. That's all. But just watching you guys and hearing from people in the comments about, you know, things I've said that have moved them to a different mind space. Oh, there's nothing that beats that. That's where I derive a lot of my joy, and that's what I mean when I say I want to help. Those things um, say that I am helping. And I have to say, since today's topic is expectations, I never expected to recognize when I was helping someone or if I was helping when I began this endeavor. I had preconceived notions of not having what was necessary in terms of equipment to get things done, not having the money to invest in those things. And um, everyone has shown me and supported me through using what I have. And that's one of my favorite things to tell myself when I get bogged down with too much thought and or paralyzed with so many things that need to get done. Start where you are. Start where you are. There is no better advice in the whole world. I mean, it applies to everything. And it pretty much squashes my preconceived notions and um, changes my expectations. When I can get up and come to this space and not bring expectations, I know it's going to be okay. And okay can be fantastic, or it can be, ooh, that could have been better, but it's okay. And thank you all for being here with me and helping me to make some of these realizations and change some of my expectations and preconceived notions. And I am going to check a few more comments and then we'll get out of here. Let's see. Heather says, same, Anita. I think that's why I made this job. I made this my job. Haha. I think so. You were born to do what you do. I've been watching the older Heather and entrepreneurship vlogs, and it's amazing to watch because I can relate so much. Yeah. And I believe relating is what we strive to do. And it is also very motivational when you can relate or feel that you're not alone. You often rise to occasions and tasks and things that you didn't think were possible. Heather or Melanie Griesmer says it's so important to document the journey. And I think that is true for many. This is my documentation of my journey, basically. But prior to coming to YouTube, I didn't think documentation in this form was going to serve me as much as it has. So, yeah, it is important to document the journey so you have something to look back on when you think you haven't come that far. You can look and see, wow, I have learned some things and I have improved. So, do that. And in closing, what I'm going to do is, well, I don't see what I wanted to do in closing. So, let's see, there's another comment. We all have so much to offer from our own lives that can help others with our unique journeys. That's what I love about your channel, Anita. Thank you, Melanie. I I appreciate that, and I'm still learning to hold on to that as truth. I know it's thank you. That's all I'll say. I won't share my doubts or my questions because they don't matter. You've just said what is the truth. So thank you for that. I have, I can't believe I don't have it here because I have a quote and I have a quote and I have what is it called? My sign off. And I can't find it. And so what I'm going to do is go to the page where it is and read it to you. And give me a moment. I'm sorry. I apologize so much for this. You know, perfection, like I said, it's based on my expectations. I expected everything to be okay, and it is. It's just not the way I had hoped. And here we go. Okay. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your support. Next week, I'll be talking about coping and how we cope with life, everyday stuff that happens. And so I hope you'll be able to join me then. But here it is. When you have expectations, you are setting yourself up for possible disappointment. Just know that everything is already okay, and I'll see you next week.